do. Hey, first game back for the Lakers after the break. First game back for Luka after missing the last 4 games ahead of the break because of a hamstring concern. After 38 points in 38 minutes and a Lakers win, I don't think the hamstring is a concern anymore. Luka Doncic leading the game in scoring. He leads the league in scoring, and he's also third in assists. And based off of that most recent 38-point game, which was last night, he leads the league in well-rested hamstrings. He got off his feet to sit down with ESPN's Omar Raja to go over some of his best highlights and proves doing dishes has different meaning when you're Luka Doncic.
Luka, step back 3 for the lead. He got it.
Doncic throws down a sledgehammer. Spectacular stuff from Luka Doncic.
Luka, appreciate you joining the show, man. First clip against Denver, end of the game. What are you thinking here?
I was gonna shoot the 3, but then I saw like Plumlee goes out to me, and then I just drove it.
Now, when Millsap is coming up, are you hesitating at all? Are you like, let me go up? Or are you thinking of maybe dropping a pass? Or are you just at that point committed?
Yeah, at that point, I was just committed. It was young Luka right there.
Are you a better passer or scorer?
I would say passer, honestly.
What a pass, Washington. Oh! That was beautiful.
The pass over Wemby.
Oh, that's just, yeah.
You like that one?
Yeah. I like it. I just, like sometimes I just don't think, I just do stuff. But when you see Wemby down there, you know, it's obviously gonna be hard for a layup.
Is there anything you're keeping in mind with Wemby just being so big?
Of course, that's what I mean. I think if it's not Wemby, I will go off for a layup. But since it's Wemby, it's kind of hard.
How do you practice this?
You don't. I think just feeling, you know.
Doncic pulls up, 3-pointer. Bang! Bang! Doncic wins the game at the buzzer.
This is the one where it was just an iconic play. The moment you get the ball, what is everything you're thinking?
I mean, first of all, I see if they're gonna double, but I saw nobody was coming. You know, normally at this point in the game, I get the double team, so I just, you know, wanted to get my go-to move.
Yeah.
And I knew I was confident in that.
Everyone shoots step backs now, but it feels like you're the best in the league at step backs. So what makes the perfect step back?
You know, balancing, I think, is very important. The balance got to be good.
Yeah.
Especially going back. And then the amount of separation you make with the step back, you know, I just try to make it as long as possible.
I'm curious, do you have a favorite highlight? Because I remember this, I was at this game. Media's not supposed to react. It was the first time in 10 years I've yelled.
I would say this was my favorite moment.
Doncic maneuvers for the lead. Got it! What a shot! Dallas has taken the lead.
You want Gobert to switch on D, right? Is there something you saw during the game where you're like, this is the mismatch I'm having success with?
I mean, it's just like, you know, I like centers on me, especially if they're going to switch. You know, they have normally slower feet than the guards.
Right.
And I usually have the best defender on me. So I wanted that switch, you know, because centers are a little bit slower than guards.
In the early days of Luka, you were very smiley and just happy to be here. And then we got Luka now, who's maybe the best trash talker in the NBA. It's like you and Draymond. When did that change?
I don't trash talk right away. I wait to somebody to say something, you know, and then I go back. But this was a really big shot, so that's why.
So you're never,
I was just excited.
So you're never the first one?
Not many times.
Got it. Are you hyping yourself up, or are you talking to them usually?
I mean, if it's a away game, especially, I'm probably talking to them, because they're talking to me the whole game.
Luka, I appreciate the time, man. Thank you so much. You got all the highlights in the world.
Thank you.
Yes.
ESPN NBA senior writer Vincent Goodwill joining the program now. Vince, great to see you. What is going to be the Lakers' approach down the stretch here with Luka back in the fold and hanging up 30 pieces when he's healthy?
They've been very cautious with Luka to this point, but I do believe, from what I've been told, they're going to unleash him for the stretch run of this NBA season because there's only so much time left, and on that hamstring, they've been pulling him back because he always wants to play. Now, you saw he played 38 minutes last night. He controlled the game down the stretch. The Lakers are one of the best closing teams in the NBA despite their point differential. And with LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves, they've only played 11 games together so far this season. With only a third of the season left, they're going to let Luka Doncic cook and see exactly how far they can go in the Western Conference.
The Lakers 16-3 in clutch time games this season, so they do know how to close out games, and it helps when you have Luka Doncic doing the closing out. Hey, let's stay in the Western Conference. The Warriors hanging on right now to that 8th seed. What is the latest that you're hearing on Steph Curry's return and him recovering from that lower body injury?
Well, with that right knee, the swelling that's happened with Stephen Curry has been a little unexpected. The Golden State Warriors are going to take a more cautious approach compared to the Lakers with Luka Doncic. You have to remember Steph Curry is going to be 38 years old in March, and the Warriors don't have a LeBron James that can carry the load for them. They already have injury issues as is. They want Steph Curry to be completely healthy in case they get into a first-round series. Remember what happened last year with that hamstring injury for him. They want to make sure he is completely healthy for the stretch run. They want to conserve the best of the rest of Stephen Curry.
They are 2 games over 500 right now. They are the 8th seed right now in the West, which means they are in the play-in tournament.
Rockets. Last night was just the 11th game that we saw LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves all play. I do not want to make too big a deal of this, okay, because Kawhi Leonard was out for the final 5 minutes of the game, and the Lakers had their full complement of players, but they did get the win. Going forward, what sort of problems might this lineup, when the big three are healthy, present for opponents?
Well, this team is the one team in the NBA that you look at the top 3 guys on their roster and you say nobody can match what those 3 guys do in terms of offense creation. No one's got 3 guys on this level when you include Austin Reeves in there with Luka and LeBron. So that means for J.J. Redick, he's got the luxury throughout the game of staggering their minutes to ensure that most of the game, 90% of the game, you can have 2 of those guys on the court at all times, but certainly at no point are you going to have none of them. And I think that's what they bring to the table. And offensively, they can be elite as they were last night. Now, defensively, I think it's a below average team, but their offense can be so good on certain nights when all 3 guys play. If you're forcing the other team to take the ball into the net most of the night, it's going to improve your half-court defense. And I think that's what the Lakers are counting on. And they've only had 11 games, as you said, all year to see what that looks like. But when they've had it, it looks pretty dominant offensively. And that's what the Lakers are counting on.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, they're 8-3 this season in the games that LeBron, Luka, and Reeves all play. They need to stack up a lot more of those. Legs, we're looking forward to your call. Have fun tonight at the Garden. Thank you.
Thanks, Anna.
There was a lot going on.
There was a whole lot going on.
That was great, man. Is he happy being at OKC?
You know he is.
That's a loose, fun team right now.
Yeah, let's go to Cavs and Hornets. Cavs 4-0 since getting James Harden, Donovan Mitchell ready. Going downhill, got the layup to go. 90-89 Cavs going into the 4th quarter. Early 4th, Harden coming off a screen for 3. Cavs up 5, halfway through the 4th now. Harden again, driving to the basket. Another floater. He had 18 points, 8 assists. Cleveland Cavaliers up 4, under a minute left in the game. Mitchell to the elbow. He had 32. Cavs going to win 118-113. Their 7th straight win. They are rolling, Hannah. Speaking of, Cleveland jumping a spot ahead of the Knicks in the Eastern Conference standings. It is the first time the Cavaliers hold an outright spot in the top 3 in the Eastern Conference standings since November 23rd. Cleveland again winning a league-best 7 straight games, with each of the last 5 with James Harden on the floor.
And now back to those New York Knicks who host KD and the Rockets tonight on ABC. And the Knicks have struggled. They have lost 3 of their last 5, most recently an ugly 15-point loss to the Pistons on Thursday at home with all those stars in the house. Meanwhile, how about the Rockets? 5 straight road wins. Only the Hornets have a longer active road win streak with 6 in a row. And Durant is at the Garden for the first time since April 2022. That's right. And he's been dominant there in his career, averaging over 31 points a game behind only Will Chamberlain and Michael Jordan, which is pretty cool. I can't believe it's been that long since he's been at the Garden. And the guy who's going to call the game at the Garden tonight for the first time on TV, very cool. Legs is going to be there for this game. So, Tim, let's talk about this expectation for the Knicks this season, that they would make a finals run, they make a coaching change, let's go all the way. Then they fall to 0-3 against Detroit this season and look terrible. What's the state of the Knicks right now?
Well, you're right, Hannah. Look, the expectations were finals, and I think the path was cleared a little bit with the injury to Jason Tatum, Tyrese Halliburton going down. So coming into the season, you thought the two favorites in Eastern Conference are Cleveland and New York. You knew Detroit was going to be significantly better. Boston has been a surprise. So the Knicks still have all of those things on the table, but right now there's no question about it. What just happened with the Detroit Pistons and these three losses by a combined 84 points? There's no doubt, for now, the Knicks are probably relieved they're done with the Pistons for the year. The good news is they're 4-1 against Boston and Cleveland. So the other two teams there at the top, they've done very well against. This has been a wild ride for the Knicks. And I think right now, they've got to show that their defense is going to be good enough when the time comes to be able to stand up to the Detroit Pistons. And you do that by taking on a very good Houston team and these other top teams that either come into your building or you get on the road. The tone has to change with what your defensive approach is going to be, because I think that's the weakness for the New York Knicks. That's where they can be attacked, and that is where they've had the hardest time against a team like the Pistons. So you've got to show that you can get back on your feet after getting knocked out the other night for the third time by the Pistons. The Knicks have everything in front of them, but they have to dramatically tighten up their defense against these top teams.
Yeah, you just don't know what you're going to get. Even though they're 21-8 at home this season, let's talk about these Rockets, because they're a very good road team. And they have been playing this season without their point guard, Fred VanVleet. And we've seen KD coming off a monster game coming into this one. How is Houston getting it done offensively?
They're different than most teams in this league, Hannah, because they don't rely heavily on the three-point shot. This is a team that's going to beat you from mid-range, in the paint, at the line, and then they're going to kill you on the glass. Like, their number one feature that this team brings every night is they dominate you on the glass. They get a lot of second-chance opportunities. Very efficient from their top guys. Kevin Durant, Amin Thompson, Alperen Sengun, all three of those guys elite in the efficiency in the middle area of the floor. 29th in the league at three-point attempts. Like, you just don't see teams typically operate that way and be this good offensively, but that's how Houston gets it done. And it's going to be a big challenge for the Knicks, first and foremost, to control their own defensive backboard, because that is where Houston just absolutely hammers you. They get second-chance opportunities to put the ball back in the hands of elite offensive players, and you have to play defense sometimes for 30 to 40 seconds at a stretch.
Yeah, it's been a while since the Rockets have won at the Garden, all the way back since 2019. All right, let's talk about these Lakers. They're half a game back of the